everybody. Another episode of talking to myself in the silent space capsule. It's kind of a null day anyway. Monday. Humid out, warm, very warm. Sky's completely cloudy. Possibility of thunderstorms. I don't know. Doesn't seem thick enough. More energy will have to roll in. Anyway, a few things minor to talk about. I have a huge to post. I tend to save my bookmarks that I think might be worth discussing. But the thing is, I've got probably about 1,000 or maybe 500. No exaggeration now. Too many to talk about. Hell, if it was one a minute, it would still be too many. But I'm still going to hack at them a little bit here just because, this was the purpose. Having the usual problem, which is I can see the possibilities and, ideas and a variety of anything, but changing that into something functional or useful is quite a different thing. About half of these are about astronomy and basically just, the various interesting things that astronomers find and then make up completely bizarre nonsense explanations. Sometimes including multiple, logic dead ends in the same article. But I've kind of given up on that. I could talk about that all day, every day, and of course nobody would give a shit because they're not astronomers or they're not scientists or they're not interested in that. Of course, there will be a small part of people small group of people that is interested, but to them, everything I say is pretty much heresy. So, again, it's basically pointless. So I'm gonna have to I think I'm deciding to not giving up my interest in that, but it's pointless to post about it. That's the problem with most of my interests. It's literally pointless to post about it. It's literally pointless to talk about it unless I'm talking to somebody very specific. So on and so on. Basically, I'm not interested in the things that would make sort of a functional YouTube channel. So this is going to have to remain just a occasional how's it going to the various people that are interested in and basically know me. No big deal, but I don't know, that decision is, you have to make that. So supposed to basically maybe make some money off this or something as well, but, well, that's the thing, actually. I've thought about that. The thing is, for me to feel personal satisfaction from something, I have to give it my 100% attention. And I like if I'm writing something or whatever, or just writing up an email or something, it's got to really hit the point that I'm thinking of. And that usually takes me a bit of time and energy. And I'm actually satisfied with how I can express myself in written language because, I can sit and stew it over and do a line and redo it and so on and so on. I wouldn't mind doing like a live, I wouldn't mind doing I could do a radio show, where I just chat a little between music. I would love to do some sort of interview show or chat back and forth with, one of my compatriots who's knowledgeable about one of my many interests. But this just kind of talking to nobody thing, it doesn't really work. I've gotten better at it. I'm sure there's been some benefit to it. Man, I really look like I have long arms here. Yeah, but it just, it's just not viable. I'm glad I made the experiment and everything, but yeah, but that's fine. I mean, this has been kind of limping along. Anyway, right now I mopped the floor, I vacuumed, cleaned all my dishes. Fridge is clean, or well, not much food in it, but I've sort of done some. I seem to start with cleaning whenever I want to rearrange things, or get some work done or whatever. It's a good way of starting. I find it's kind of like a palette cleanser or palette, whatever. But the house is nice and clean now. Feels good. Eaten. Got a bunch of things I need to do. Found some ibuprofen that I had stashed away, which is good because muscles are kind of sore from doing a lot of exercise recently. So I don't know. Things are looking good. I'm just kind of I'm shifting gears. I'm in looking for work mode. I've got stupid paperwork things to file and whatnot. I'm just ah older I get. Frankly, I've never really adjusted to the mundane way of the mundane world. All of its stupid, boring stuff. It's not that I don't know how to do it. It just uninterests me so completely that I have to really force myself to do anything. Anyway, I'm getting some progress done today. Hopefully, I'll be able to. My work is kind of clustered at the end of the week, so I'm using these first few days to get this stuff done. Anyway, I guess that's it for all that. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about. I think I'll just let this go 10 minutes. I'll just talk about a few of these and then just start deleting all the astronomy ones. Dead galaxies not so dead. Yeah, green crystal rain. Britain is running out of wind. Yeah, that was interesting. Also kind of funny. Religious experiences shrink part of the brain. Yeah, I find that interesting just because, again, I consider the brain to be. The brain has many functions, but in many ways it's a filter. So certain type of religious experiences may shrink part of the brain because they probably shrink the part that we use to filter it, well, to lock extra hard on mundane reality and ignore everything else. So they'll find that out later anyway. Attention and awareness aren't the same. Yeah, that's good. Psychology's finally cluing in a little of that. It's already been known. Teacher told me I've created the world's creepiest children's book. That one was pretty good. That was about the Slender Man. The character was made up online, but it was a pretty creepy children's book. Guest blog: Physics and the Immortality of the Soul. I just put that one because it was some guy spouting the usual materialist. We know everything, therefore shut up about anything non-material. Incredible, full of logical holes as usual. Colbert laughing all the way to the pack. That was awesome. Colbert set up a super PAC so that he has unlimited ability to gather money to influence the 2012 elections. And, he can do it because, as is when, and everybody else can do it. You know what I mean? Like the Republicans can do it. Any corrupt business that wants to do it can do it. So he's like, well, I want to make the Colbert PAC. And they couldn't stop him because he did all the... I love that about Colbert. He manipulates the system. He's a master stalker. 3D Realms, Shadow Warrior, meet Lo Wang. That's actually pretty funny. Lo Wang is apparently, it was in a game, was it called Shadow Warrior, which was the sequel to Duke Nukem, or sorry, not the sequel, sort of the spiritual successor, as they say. It was a lot like the, and Lo Wang was the old Oriental dude, kicking ass dude as the protagonist, but they basically gave him a lot of cheesy, kung fu movie. Not derogatory. It was kind of like, again, it's like basically he's like an Oriental Duke Nukem. He's spouting cheesy lines while kicking ass, throwing. He's like, shuriken. I love shuriken. I always carry a pocket full. He says they're like gumdrops or something. Anyway, that's pretty funny. Just look up Lo Wang on the net and you'll find it. AP investigation concludes U.S. nuke regulators weakening safety rules. Oh yeah, that was a great one. Of course, that's when they found that they built all these nuke plants like 40 years ago, and they said they had a 40-year lifespan, but they've all revised that. All the original documents. I mean, the hardcore engineering documents say this has a 40-year lifespan. Here's the whole shebang. They basically are going, well, it's still running. It's we patched a few holes. It's still good. And they basically been retroactively loosening the safety rules. So they come with them and show them, it's like, oh, we have these pipes, and some leaks here, some seals. And they just rewrite the thing to go, well, that's all acceptable. Just get it done, get it done. Fine, but, it's just the usual nonsense. Oh, yes, we care about security, and we're just revising these rules on the spot, not telling anybody about it, Carl Sagan trolls people who claim to have been abducted by aliens. Right. That was pretty cool because basically Carl Sagan just says that, well, he said when he was alive, basically anybody who wrote him and said, hey, I'm channeling the aliens from Zeta Reticuli and they want to be your space brothers and all that, he'd write back and say, well, that's very interesting. What do they have to say about Fermat's last theorem? And so on and so on. He'd give him these very